I was disappointed.
Disappointed in Narendra Modi, the individual?
No, I was disappointed in what the Gujarat government had done. In fact, in the notice issued, the opening line was, "It has come to our notice that a book has been published." In fact, they hadn't even read the book and banned it without reading it.
Is that your fear that books are banned even without reading them?
Yes, it was. This book was banned without being read. It is tragic. It is tragic.
In that sense, because of that tragedy, the vindication now by the High Court, does that make you feel even more empowered perhaps to realize that all that's happened over the last couple of weeks, maybe there is light at the end of a dark tunnel?
Empowered is the wrong word. I think it would be boastful. It would be full of hubris.
Vindicated. Do you feel vindicated?
Vindicated, certainly. Vindicated. My sorrow is that it should be courts of law which should need to vindicate the right to speech. As Democrats, we keep talking about the freedom of speech and the legislators, etc. Why don't we have that? Why don't we demonstrate that right?
Sir, but in this case, it's your book. In the past, film directors have found their films censored. Yes. Television serials, if you remember Tamas, for example, yes, which was a television serial that spoke about partition, was also stopped. We've had movie halls being stoned when there have been contentious figures involved. Is the basic Indian problem that we are unable to confront history? Is history writing in itself something that turns out always to be contentious? And therefore, there will always be pressure to ban a film or a book that deals with history.
No, not necessarily with history as such. The contention is not with the British Empire's misgovernance or governance. The contention is largely India-Pakistan, India-Bangladesh, Hindu-Muslim. That's my thesis, that what was a Hindu-Muslim, and that was also what Gandhiji said, we'll settle it. What was a Hindu-Muslim question, we turned into an India-Pakistan international question. It's also, perhaps there is greater intolerance in our democratic functioning, therefore in the society, over the last 60 years. Because earlier the Congress leadership would sit on the same dais as the Muslim League in Muslim League meetings.
Are you saying today there is a greater, ironically, in the 21st century, in the age of the internet or the age of the iPod, that there is actually greater intolerance?
I do say it. I say it with sadness.
That there is greater intolerance today than there was 50 years ago. Do you believe a Jawaharlal Nehru, for example, would have actually read your book and would have appreciated it and perhaps written another book to respond to what you said on Jinnah?
Panditji, bidding farewell to Mountbatten, says, some 50, 60 years down the line, we will be assessed for what we have done, and historians will write. Writing to Nawab Sahib Bhopal in reply, he says, we made a mistake. It was a dimension. Panditji's personality had this great quality of being able to see, examine himself, to stand outside himself and see.
And so was Gandhi. Gandhi was constantly going through a process of self-examination.
That's right.
And I'm sure so would have Patel. So, I mean, Patel himself would have perhaps responded to your book with another book.
Absolutely. Sardar Patel was a man of great dimensions, not limited. He cannot be damaged simply because of a book written 60 years down the line by Jaswant Singh.
My final question then to you, what would you like to say to all those politicians who banned films in the past like Parzania, television series like Tamas, have stopped fundamentalist groups which targeted satanic verses, and those now who took the decision to ban your book? What would you like to tell all of them?
I'll just say one thing. Why do you keep reciting Tagore's great line, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high? Let India really be a country where the mind is without fear, and we can only hold up our heads high if we don't have thought locked and put away, books banned and books burned. It's like burning thought.
Before you go, sir, let me just play out what was said by the lawyer in the Gujarat High Court. Let's just listen in to what the lawyer in the Gujarat High Court said after the ban on Jaswant Singh's book was overturned.
अपने जजमेंट में गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ने ये कहा कि ये नोटिफिकेशन पढ़ के ऐसा लगता है कि शायद गुजरात सरकार ने ये प्रतिबंध लगा देने से पहले किताब को नहीं पढ़ा है। अगर किताब को नहीं पढ़ा तो किताब पर प्रतिबंध कैसे लगाया?
Okay, the Gujarat lawyer there saying that the Gujarat High Court wasn't even sure that the government had read the book before it banned it. Mr. Jaswant Singh, you must come more often now to the IBN live chat room because it's been a lucky day for you. It's been a good, auspicious day. I think you in a sense believe that today is a day when freedom of expression has stood out above all else.
As it has. And I think I'm not wearing a hat, but I salute the court. I salute the court for standing up for Indian democracy and for freedom of speech.
You're almost feeling teary-eyed, it seems.
Thank you.
You seem emotional.
But I have to be emotional. A book is like a child. A book, for the author, a book is a child. And when the book is burnt, it's like burning a child. Come on, Rathi.
And your child is back with you today now
That's
that
right.
the ban has been overturned.
That's right.
Jaswant Singh, pleasure having you here on this day when the ban on your book has been overturned in the Gujarat High Court. Well, that was Jaswant Singh. Remember, you can catch much more of the author on IBNlive.com. We have a live webcast that we did with the author a short while ago. IBNlive.com is the place to go for much more on Jaswant Singh, the politician and the author.